18?
Hang on, let me look at that.
Oh no, yeah,
I've actually been curious. Oh, it is 18. Yeah, it's 18. You're probably saying that because. Well, you know.
Forget it. Cancel.
That's funny though that you said that.
That is funny. What? So what's 16?
Oh, if you're accompanied by a child, accompanied by an adult, you're allowed to drink at 16.
I feel, but places like restaurants and pubs won't let you do that, will they?
Except where the child is 16 or 17 years old and accompanied by an adult. In this case, it's legal for them to drink, but not to buy. There you go. So if you're with your parents and you're 16, you can drink anywhere.
Oh, well, that's caused some awkward conversations in pubs and stuff, hasn't it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Hard to say.
Yeah. Okay. Jay, let's crack on. We've got possibly even more news than last week.
There's so much going on.
But that's okay. That's
a good time for gaming fans right now.
It's true.
It's a massively good time.
So, Jay, the TGO show, which is what we're on right now, comes every Saturday morning, unless you are listening to last week's, which came sometime yesterday at the time of recording. I think we'll be back on schedule now. Everything's live. Last was part 2 special. Last week's show. Everything's live, so feel free to go download that, listen to that, comment on that. This is the Goldilocks game with Jay. Your friendly neighbourhood, Nick. Hashtag, we've got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we certainly do.
Jay, what have you been playing, mate?
Borderlands 3, DLC. It's out.
DLC.
Actually, for some reason it felt so much sooner than going from 1 to 2.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to look up exactly the dates, but in my mind, the distance from DLC 1 to 2 was like 5 months. But
it did seem quite long.
It might have been, but then from 2 to 3, it felt like 2 or 3 months. I don't know. Didn't feel
it's definitely been a couple of months, I'd say.
I think these last couple of months have just gone quicker than expected.
I do think it has come along sooner. Jay, I was going to wait for this topic for later on in the show, but since you have been playing it and I've been playing it, maybe we should talk about our thoughts on the entire DLC at this point.
Yeah, so I did like a bit of an experiment. I was talking to you about it, maybe whenever it was. I wanted to see how long the main story campaign would be without doing any side quests. Just to see, I don't know, I guess just to see, because in my mind, the first DLC felt really long, and it felt like I didn't do many side quests in that. Like, it felt like it took me 2 or 3 days to finish it, versus the second DLC, which took me, I think, maybe a day, if not a day and a half. And then this one took me an afternoon. Like, legit. I think I started it at 10 a.m. I stopped at 12, had lunch for half an hour, and finished it by like 4 p.m.
Okay.
So it might have only taken me about 5 hours, maybe.
I mean,
that's with no side quests.
That seems quite sizable
that's
to
on
me.
Mayhem
4,
I think I did it on that, yeah. So it's a little bit harder than usual too.
That seems sizable to me, 5 hours.
I don't know. In my mind, it always seemed like maybe between 6 and 8, but that's maybe me being too optimistic, I guess. That might be more like, because I'm trying to think the length of the actual main story is probably like 25 hours or so, maybe. If it was a third of that, I guess that might be slightly too ambitious, or too above what I'm thinking. But I guess somewhere between 4 and 6 is fine. But I guess with side quests, that'd probably be more like between 6 and 8, wouldn't it?
So your initial reaction, you obviously commented on it when we spoke about it earlier this week, but your initial reaction is it's too short for you.
No, I don't think it's too short, actually. I think if I just did it with side quests, it would have been fine. I was more excited about the new legendary weapons and getting them on Mayhem 10 than I was actually doing the story for the DLC. I will say the story for the DLC probably wasn't my favourite story. I think some of the effects and the boss battles was a very, very fun idea. I think in my mind it had more potential. That it could have been like, I think how I described it to you was how the Assassin's Creed, the cultists, where you had like the head and then you had like the 8 generals, as it were, around them. I thought it was going to be more like that, but it wasn't. It was kind of like, kill a few bosses and then go to the end kind of thing. So, I think the aesthetic, I will say the idea of it basically being a Western but in like feudal Japan was like a brilliant idea. Good collaboration of the two. So the first, I want to say that there's been a lot of in Borderlands 3 in general. There's been like a lot of Jacob's love. Does that make sense? You know what I mean, right?
100%.
There's been the second DLC, which is mainly about Jacob's weapons and Jacob's in general.
Let me just quickly say, Jay, sorry, this will be spoilers for Bounty of Blood DLC.
Yeah, massively.
Just going to put that out there.
Bounty of
about
Blood
15-20 minutes, if not.
Basically takes place in like a Jacob's underground headquarters, essentially. And then most of the main game, I'd say all the Eden 6 stuff is basically all Jacob's as well. There's definitely a good like spread of all the different weapon types and like Atlas and Hyperion or whatever. But I feel like Jacob's is like taken has probably had the most, probably like 33% of the entirety of the game is like Jacob's, and then everything else is slightly lower percentage underneath, which I don't mind because I think Jacob's weapons are probably some of my favourites, like the fact, the revolvers and stuff. I like the aesthetic, I like the whole Western style of it. Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy the story as much though. The way I think, is it Rose?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she was probably one of the best designed characters, but I didn't like. Was it Juno?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like her. Thought she was a bit naff. She was very like, I don't know, rigid and kind of boring.
Sure.
I was hoping that if they were going to have that kind of character, I was hoping she was going to be a bit more lively and a bit more like badass, I guess, in quotes. Like if I imagine like a new sheriff and one that had come from the Devil Riders, I'd imagine someone a bit more wacky and a bit more crazy. But she was very like, monotone, I guess. But I'd say the visuals were massively good in this one. Really enjoyed it. What about you?
Yeah, mate.
I mean, you literally just finished it like within the hour, right?
Yeah. So I've been playing it. I started playing it to edit the podcast, and then today I was like, "Oh, Jay, can we do it at 7?" And you're like, "Yeah." And then I'm like, "Oh, Jay, can we just delay it? Because I'm like literally near the end of this DLC. If I get it done, we can talk about it in full."
Yeah.
So you were patient enough. So yeah, I literally just finished it at the time of recording.
Just a second.
Fresh off the
fresh in your mind. Yeah.
Stall. Yeah, I've taken down some notes because I'm a nerd. The intro, as always, is very, very cool. I think they've pretty much nailed the Borderlands intros, both for bosses and for cinematics, probably since Borderlands 2, but I feel like there's an element of polish to them in the third game and the DLCs that we never really got, so I like that. Cool atmosphere, minimal music, which I enjoyed, although when the music did kick in, I found it quite contrasting at times, where it was actually taking away from the gameplay.
Yeah. I kind of felt that. Would it have been too much, though, if it was like too stereotype Western/Japanese? Would it have been too much of a stereotype?
I feel like the rest of the soundtrack for the games and DLCs is perfect because you can listen to it, but it's there. Does that make sense? Like it just supports what you're doing. Does that make sense? I think you're right. It probably would be too distracting to combine those elements, but I found it distracting anyway. I don't know about you.
I like when you use the word polish. Actually, that's one thing I just now thought of. I will say, the I guess you can call them like when the title of the place came up. Like if you went to a new place, it was all that new font.
I'm so glad you bring this up.
The background, that's very unique of Borderlands to do that. I've never seen that before in Borderlands. It's always usually a picture of the place with like a black border, quite like almost like a painting type thing, and then in the bottom right or the bottom left there's like a title card for like what the place is called. But they've actually like completely redesigned how the title cards look for like the loading screens, and I thought that was very unique. That's probably one of the biggest things I enjoyed about it, actually, is the look of it. They made it look like a Western movie or a Japanese movie. It looked very
I thought exactly the same thing. As soon as that turned up, I was like, I love this font.
It hit me so hard. I was like, whoa, this is different. I like this a lot.
Yeah, man.
I really like that.
I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, it was a super cool element. I liked the commentator, the narrator throughout.
Yes,
I thought
that was my next point. I thought that because we never met him, did we?
Not as
He was just this guy that happened. It basically, you played the DLC almost like, because he told you what was going to happen next. So it's almost like you were playing a flashback.
Yes.
Like you were part of this like amazing saga, this like amazing story, because he kept referring to like certain shootouts as like the battle of the Butcher or something, didn't he? So like it was almost like you were playing this like famous, like almost like outlaw. That's kind of what it felt like. I was like, oh yeah, this like this sort of like amazing gunslinger. They kept calling you the gunslinger, didn't they? So I thought that was quite cool. Yeah, no, that the narrator, because I feel like in the second DLC there was obviously the guy at the lodge, and he was your narrator essentially, wasn't he? You sort of had him like say certain things, so I guess they kind of had to bring that, and he was like the main comedic part of the whole thing. That he made some pretty good jokes, which is obviously Borderlands like main thing, I guess. So there's no claptrap in this one, was there?
No.
Did they have claptrap in the first DLC? They must have done, right?
I think so.
I can't remember. I'm kind of surprised actually. There wasn't really much claptrap, unless there was a side mission that I didn't see.
Well, if not, there's there is that boss that you grind for in that DLC, which is kind of claptrappy because they're all claptraps. But I don't know if that has the character claptrap.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah. Well, there you go.
But I liked how there was all new characters in this DLC. It felt quite refreshing that we weren't treading on old.
Yeah. So
skins.
like Tina didn't come back like she did in the second DLC. It would have been nice though if there was like one person who we hadn't seen in a while. I'm trying to think who we haven't seen in a long time. Because it was Gage as well, wasn't it? Gage was in the second one. That's probably who I'm thinking of. Gage was the wedding planner, wasn't she?
Yeah.
I'm thinking of Tina for some reason, but it wasn't. It was Gage.
Gage.
I wouldn't mind seeing Krieg actually. I think it would have been Krieg's the mad bomber. He's like the one with the melee weapons in 2. Okay. He was a DLC character. Like he was one of the last DLC characters.
And these DLC Vault Hunters, they're that because Gage was one as well, I think, wasn't she?
Gage was DLC. She was the first one, yeah.
They're that popular that they've decided to consistently make them appear in the Borderlands unit, because like I don't know these characters because I never played as them in Borderlands 2.
Sure.
So you're saying when they release these characters, all the Borderlands players, they'd play through the whole game again with these new DLC characters type thing?
Yeah, I did. I did it with every single
one.
Krieg was actually probably one of my favorites. Krieg's cool because he's like almost like a glass cannon. Like he can die within like 2 hits, but his damage output was amazing. I remember that. So
okay. I know a lot of people comment about wanting Krieg to come back at some point.
Yeah, they made Gage quite a large part of that DLC.
They did, the second one.
Yeah, and I'm surprised they didn't bring anyone else into this one.
She was standout for that DLC.
Oh yeah, she made that. Like the fact they used forgot the name of her robot, but her robot was a massive part of that, like holding all that like laser beam
Death
stuff.
Trap.
That was Death Trap. There you go.
Yeah, that was really cool.
But there we go.
Yeah, thoughts on that?
What do they call that? Fan service. It would have been nice if there was a bit more fan service. Yeah,
I felt it was refreshing that we had all new characters, and I've got to be honest, Jay, I'm not sure why they're picking certain Vault Hunters to keep coming up. So, for instance, I thought it was strange that we had the original 4 crop up in Borderlands 2 because I was like, oh, they're never going to do that. They don't speak in the first game. Sorry?
You come across Brick and
Mordecai.
Mordecai. Yeah. In the third one?
Yeah. But I was just saying that when I first played Borderlands 2, I was surprised that they were a part of it at all, really.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, you kind of have to, though, right? Because...
Well, I didn't think you did. I think you just start again.
I mean, you do, but they're in it as well. I don't know. I like that they're there. So you don't like that they're there, or you do like that they're there?
No, I was just surprised. I liked it after. Okay. Yeah. Cool. And then in Borderlands 3, we obviously get some carryover from 1 and 2, but there's quite a few Borderlands 2 Vault Hunters, I think, that haven't really showed up since that game, as far as I'm aware.
One, I think maybe the only one. I'll have to double check that. But
what about the Gunzerker? Do you know?
Oh yeah, Salvador, I think.
Yeah, Salvador.
Yeah, he hasn't been in it, and neither has a couple people. I want to say. Check. I mean, Zero's definitely in. He's in 3. He's like one of the main ones.
Zero, of course. Yeah. Athena's in it, kind of.
Oh yeah, is Athena in it? Or is Athena? I thought Athena was part of
pre-sequel.
Yeah, pre-sequel. There's been no pre-sequel characters because I guess they're probably all dead by now. Although that might not be true because
Doppelganger in the first DLC.
Yeah, Jack.
Yeah,
Handsome Jack, right? Yeah.
Doppelganger. He was in the pre-sequel. You could play him in pre-sequel.
Yeah.
As a character as well.
And then you could also play as Jacob's sister.
Jake.
Yeah,
the bad guy.
The Ice Queen or whatever her name is.
The one who's a bad guy in Borderlands 3?
Yeah, you can play as her as a character in pre-sequel. She was a DLC character.
Oh, right. Oh God.
Yeah,
It
she
links
wasn't.
more
She
than I
was
thought.
kind of cool, but I didn't like her that much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so getting back to the topic at hand, I like the commentator. I found there were some visual glitches with some of the character models early on that really drew me out of the game. But then aside
Oh,
from that,
really?
the
That might
animation,
have just been new, though. I don't know. I didn't come across that.
Well, yeah, it seemed after that, it seemed to clear itself up, so
Oh,
fair
okay.
play.
Yeah, that might have just been like stuff not popping in properly, I guess, right?
Yeah, yeah. I like the locations. I think it all looked, like you say, Jay, some of it looked quite good. It was consistent, new enemy types, really fun to play through. The jet beasts, which are the new vehicles, are really cool. I love how they feel.
Yeah, they were okay. I wouldn't say they were felt great. I don't know. They were
I liked how
they
they
were
felt.
different. I don't know if they were like good, but they were different. They were cool in their own way, I guess.
Okay.
But I didn't. There are ways to upgrade them. I just haven't found how to do it yet.
Side missions, mate.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Parts.
Okay.
And lastly, the Caldera Stronghold, which is alluding to what Jay was talking about earlier with the Japanese cross-western. That's one of the main locations in the DLC, and I thought it was really, really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought it was the shortest of the 3 DLCs.
Yeah, so it's short for you too. Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah, I watched the review actually, and they were saying how the side missions were a bit repetitive. They were a bit like go here, collect this thing, come back, basically. But I don't know. Is that true? Is that true to say?
Yeah, I felt that they lacked substance and that it was
Yeah, I
very
felt like
much a
the
fetch
side
quest.
missions in the second one were actually like comical and quite fun.
100%.
Actually, in comparison to even the first one, the first DLC side missions weren't that great, to be honest. They were okay. I think there was one I liked where you had to be that jazz guy who like passed out or something. Do you know what I'm talking about? Did you do that the first DLC side quest where there's that jazz guy with the saxophone? You have to like go find a saxophone player. I thought that was probably one of my favorite DLC side quests actually.
Yeah,
Stuff
that was
like
cool.
I like stuff where it's like funny and there's like audio cues and stuff like that. I think that's quite cool.
These side missions did have character to them. For example, one of them is trying to find the last can of beans from these arguing friends. Another one is you have to scare this killer by dressing up like a scarecrow. But they didn't quite hit it for me, and they were because they're direct diversions from the main path.
Yeah,
they're very much like okay, I'll do this for 5 minutes and then I'll go back to the main story. So I've actually finished all the side missions as well. Not the collectibles, but all the side missions and main story for the DLC, because they're just so easy. I was just like, yeah, I'll just do that quickly.
Yeah, I think I did that on the first DLC and the second one, but just didn't really bother on the third one. Fair. I was more just wanting to get the legendaries to say. I was just like, right, I'll finish the story and just do legendaries.
It's so interesting because I can care less about legendaries, but then you don't.
Yeah,
you obviously.
For me, it's more of just wanting to like see what they can do, see how they feel, like whether they're actually, because a lot of them are pretty terrible. Like they don't really do much damage. Sure. They have like a really weird gimmicky thing they do, and they're not actually any good. But there's the odd one or two where you're like, oh, I'm going to use this. This is like decent. So there's usually like 1 or 2 out of like 10. So it can be pretty good.
So what was your overall thoughts, Jay, on the DLC? We haven't really, I mean, we've discussed it, but we haven't really discussed it. Like, did we enjoy it? What do we think about it?
It's probably for me the worst out of the 3.
Yeah.
But not like by a mile, by a very small margin. Like for me, it goes 2, 1, 3, but they're all very tightly, close. They're all very close to each other in terms of like scale of how good they are. I don't really want to compare them to the DLC of like Borderlands 2 or 1, just because I don't really see the point. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I think if I go back and do the side missions, I imagine I'll enjoy them. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Kept me going for a good amount of time, so I'm happy.
Yeah, agreed.
I'm kind of actually more intrigued now what they're going to do next.
How they're going to finish it off. Well, they could release a second season pass. I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I hope so. I really think Borderlands 3 has potential to be like the biggest and best Borderlands ever.
Definitely.
Or yet, should we say.
The second Borderlands had a ridiculous amount of DLC, from what I remember.
Yeah, I can't remember if I did it all, honestly.
I only did it all because it was on the Handsome Collection, but there was a ludicrous amount. I mean, we're talking. I'm not saying they're all the same scale as these 4 DLCs, but there was at least 7 to 8.
I want to say the Borderlands 1 DLC was so much more substantial than anything else I played. Like they might as
Even
well have been
Borderlands
like,
3?
yeah, more than Borderlands 3. Yeah, the DLC
Really?
for Borderlands 1 was really substantial. I remember it being like,
Mm,
lasting a long time. So I don't know. That could just be my, slightly younger mind playing tricks on me. I don't know.
they were all substantial. I
To
can
me, at least.
verify that.
Yeah.
Zombie Island, Secret
Oh, mate.
Armory, they were
Some good
big.
memories.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
man.
was so cool when they released such good quality DLC way back then, and then continuing it. Yeah, I hope they also release. I think they could do another year and release another 4 big
Oh,
DLCs, and
100%.
we just play through it and just enjoy every minute.
Honestly, I think the one thing I'm actually disappointed of is that legendaries aren't very unique. That's probably my like one big thing is that a lot of them don't really look that unique anymore.
Do
Or
they
just in
used to
general.
in
I don't
previous
know.
games?
Some of them have, but I feel like they've been a bit lazy with the design. They've concentrated more on what it can do versus how it looks. I think the look is fairly important. Just as it can be sometimes, like much like in Destiny. If you'll get a
Yeah.
weapon because it was good, but also because it looks good too. So.
And that's the importance of the Assassin's Creed Odyssey system.
Oh
of
yeah,
being
yeah.
able to
A lot of how it
change
looks.
things.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, cool. So we both liked it. Both would recommend. Play through it. Good
100%.
time.
If you're a Borderlands fan, it's a must.
All right. Okay, Jay. I've been. Oh, apologies. We're still on
I
what
was
we're
gonna
playing.
say we've still got
Oh
a little
my
bit left.
god. Sorry. Carry on.
Yeah, just a little bit of Pokemon here and there. Not really much.
Mate,
Maybe like an hour or two.
Alpha Ruby.
Alpha Sapphire.
Alpha. Which one of you? You've got a Mega Ruby.
I've got both, yeah, but I played Omega Ruby 6 years ago. So.
Oh, which one are you
When it
replaying?
first
Are you
came
playing
out.
both of them?
No, I'm just doing the other one.
Okay, Sapphire. Okay.
Just a Sapphire. Yeah, and then a little bit of Magic the Gathering Arena because the new set came out. So I thought I'll test and have a play with the new cards, make some new decks.
Cool. How far are you getting in Pokemon?
Not very, like 5 or 6 hours.
Okay.
I'm really not lazy with it, but just sort of playing it whenever I feel like it, to be honest.
Casual. You've been watching some anime as we've been
I
talking
have,
about.
My Hero Academia, the Japanese dub came out a while ago, and the English one just finished. So I thought, well, I'll watch the English one because I've stuck with it before. So yeah, I'm just waiting for the film to come out now.
This is the one you told me about, isn't it? Where they've all got different powers as students.
Yeah, it's basically like superhero high school.
Yeah.
But the high school is like a very prestigious one. It's like the best one you can go to in Japan, in quotes. So yeah, it's just like they're not like snobby or anything. It's just like it's like basically like going to Harvard or Cambridge, but without the snobbery, I guess.
Sure. When's the film coming out?
The film's technically out. It's been in theaters, in quotes, selective theaters, but it's not coming out on DVD or Blu-ray until the 15th of July. So 2 weeks from today. Looking forward to it.
Not too long.
What about you?
Yeah, I've been playing Last of Us Part 2.
As Jay knows,
I'll be getting it, mate. Don't you worry about that. It's just mopping up.
You said you were about like 10 hours in, right, to the second playthrough?
Yep. So I've got
it's just pretty much to go. Right? So you've done all the sort of like kill this many whatever, or with this
exactly
weapon
right
upgrade stuff. Yeah.
Exactly right. So spoilers again for Last of Us Part 2. Spoilers if you don't know already. Skip ahead about 3 minutes. Yeah, so I've got to play as Abby, finish upgrading her stuff, and then I'll finish upgrading everything, and then it's just collectibles. So I'm fairly through, but I've also got a fair amount to go.
Yeah.
And it'll just take a couple of days.
Like halfway, right? Because it took you 26 hours to do the first one, or like 24 hours or something, right?
Yeah, 22 and a half. But that was me taking my time.
Okay.
I have increased the difficulty.
You have, okay.
For the combat, not the stealth, because I'm a wuss.
Sure.
Just to keep it a challenge. But yeah, just powering through. The story... I think for me, it's just that first playthrough that's blowing me away. I'm enjoying the story second time round, but it's not the same. It's not the same.
Yeah, it very rarely is. Although, weirdly, to I guess call back, when I watched My Hero, series 1 to 3 again, just because I want to watch it again. It felt the same emotionally, weirdly. Like it was. I found if I leave a book or a show or a game long enough to like forget everything that happened, I can like almost play it or watch it or read it again, almost like it's the first time. But it has to be like a very, very long time, like 2 or 3 years maybe. So you've had that before, right, with certain things?
Yeah, 100%. Like you say, if I don't play Last of Us Part 2 for 10 years after I platinum it, I might be able to play it again and experience
you might have
that.
forgotten. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, Jay.
Yeah.
It's
this one might be quite a difficult one. I'm actually like
I think I've got it. I'm gonna give it a good shot. I like this interpretation. Okay, are we ready?
Oh god, I'm actually kind of worried. Oh wow.
It's time for the news.
Yeah, that's not bad actually.
Speak about some games. No, I don't know why I'm doing a weird twang on it. There's no twang. He's British. He's just British.
Scottish, right?
Oh yeah, but he doesn't sound
it's a very,
Scottish.
Yeah, it's a very odd Scottish. Yeah, it's a very odd Scottish.
Pass me the salt.
Yeah, I was gonna say, try and like do the whole James Bond thing. That's usually the best way to do it.
What? I don't even know what he's. You know what I mean? Like,
that's why he's from Edinburgh. That's basically like posh Scottish. They talk a bit more.
Is that right?
Normally, I guess.
It's time for the news, Jay.
People from Edinburgh sound very difficult to people from like Glasgow. Glasgow is like thick Scottish, and Edinburgh is kind of like posh Scottish. That's like the way to know. So
I'll tell you what, man. Talk about accents. Thick Scottish is hilarious to me. Just say anything Scottish.
It's very, very funny. Yeah, I agree. Like, what's his name? Who's the Scottish comedian? Oh, Billy Connolly. Yeah, he's from Glasgow, I think.
Kevin Bridges,
and yeah, he's from Glasgow as well, I think.
Oh, yeah, hilarious.
I think half of his being funny is his accent. That like makes up a lot of it.
Exactly that.
Not to take away from the comedy, but it's just it makes it all that more funnier.
Would you like to go first this week, or?
No, you can go first. I'm actually kind of intrigued to what you've got here.
All right, let's bash through this. Mike Tyson, 50 years old. Let's go. All right, people. So, first up, Crash 4. We discussed the value proposition of it being a fully priced video game. Interestingly, hours after that conversation, probably, Crash Bandicoot 4 reportedly, according to a GameStop ad and a random Twitter user, so I guess that's journalism.
Yeah.
The Crash Bandicoot 4 will have over 100 levels, and in context, that's more levels than the first 3 games combined. So if this is true, it justifies the price, and again, it says that there may be some faith there in saying that this could be the best Crash Bandicoot game we have ever had. Jay, any thoughts?
I'm looking at it right now, and it actually does look quite promising, to be honest. Yeah, I wouldn't buy it, but I'd probably watch someone play it. Definitely.
I'm still gonna wait for reviews.
You can pre-order it and get a well, I think it's probably only in America, but you can get like a
little Crash Bandicoot thing.
What do you call it?
Toy.
Time Turner. What are they called? Hourglass. There we go.
There you go.
There we go.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Yeah.
I doubt that'll be over here.
I'm going to wait for reviews, but still very, very interested, and hopefully we'll get this game if it is good. And I look forward to playing through it.
Good.
Next up, people, Fallout 76 first season starts this week.
Yeah, now, I'm confused. Jay, what do you mean by first season? Because hasn't it been? I thought there's already been like 3 or 4. We've
already discussed this. We're not talking DLC here. We're talking season. Now, before I go into that, Jay, breaking news: that is very interesting, and we should take very seriously here because it could mean we lose hours of our time. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Fallout 76 is coming to Game Pass.
Okay. Well, yeah, good for you, I guess, because I don't have it, but.
You own it though, don't you?
Yeah, I think so. I can't really remember, to be honest. Pretty sure I do.
On July 9th, it's coming to Game Pass. According to the Xbox Wire, who wrote that? I don't know, Megan Spare. The last news story came from WCCF Tech, Nathan Birch. So Jay, it's coming to Game Pass, which I thought was very interesting, and I'm just so intrigued by the game. I think I might have to play it because it's on Game Pass. Also, Jay, you can get Game Pass for like £1 for like a month. So
yeah, I'd see that. Yeah, might be worth a try if.
Could be worth. Like I would be very
so when's
intrigued in playing
July?
July 9th.
Oh, July. I suppose a lot sooner than I thought. Okay.
So I'm just saying, Jay, this could be the time when me and you have a game to try out together. Maybe see what.
Look into that. Yeah.
See we're not convinced.
What?
Well, we're not convinced still by the game. I just thought maybe just to put it to rest, we can play it for like 10 hours and finally give some thoughts on it. You know, finally say what the game is and what we think about it. But it's up to you, really. I don't want to press you into playing a bad game.
I'm hoping it's improved a lot since I played it. I'm pretty sure I played the beta, from what I can remember. Either that or I played it the first week it was released. I can't really remember. So I'm pretty sure like the first month or so when it was released, they didn't have like a subscription. It wasn't subscription based.
That's correct. Well, you have a subscription now.
Came like way later in my mind, and that's not even the reason why I didn't play it anymore. It was just because I don't know. It might have been like the mood or something I was in, but it really did feel like a Fallout MMO. It just felt really weird. It felt kind of strange, unusual. Sure. Not in like a terrible way, but just in a peculiar way, I guess. It almost felt a little bit like Minecraft, because you had to like constantly craft things to keep you not necessarily alive, but like there was a lot more crafting involved. I remember you had to like set up like a camp and like stuff. There was a lot more of that involved, which I'm not a massive fan of that in games, not really.
Okay,
I like Minecraft bugs me a little bit just because of the whole like crafting table and stuff.
Yeah, I liked it in Fallout 4. But let me talk about the first season, Jay. First season. So it's board game themed. I thought this was really cool. That's why I've included it. And I've also just like to include it because I'm just still fascinated by this game and whether I'll actually play it. So season 1 is called The Legendary Run, and you can earn score points by completing tasks, and then it moves you across the game board. And it's apparently a race between Captain Cosmos and Dr. Zorbo.
I was going to say, do you get like rewards for going across the board or something?
Yeah, you do, yeah. So rewards like ghillie suit armor paint, fishbowl spacesuits, lunchbox consumables, XP boosters, and it has daily and weekly challenges. So obviously that will entice players to play every day. And it's got ranks. So the first season will be free for a while, but it confirms that future seasons will be all... What the f*** does this say? Right, apologies. We've known that the first season would be free for a while, apparently. I didn't.
Since May, yeah.
But Bethesda's blog post has also confirmed that future seasons will be as well. So that's cool. And this season's running till mid-September.
So there's no subscription needed for this then, or there still is?
Here we go. So after the first 2 weeks, players who want to rank up without completing all of the challenges will be able to do so by paying 150 atoms per rank, which I believe is basically your in-game money. Jay, what are your thoughts on it? But just quickly, this comes from PC Gamer Jody McGregor. Jay, what are your thoughts on this, my friend?
Yeah, I just reminded myself actually when you were talking the progression system in Fallout I actually really like. Mm-hmm. You kind of have like a point system, but it's with cards, with like almost like collectible cards, and you can unlock like packs, I guess, like what you would do with like Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon or Magic, whatever. And these cards have like really cool abilities, or allow you to do certain things. But yeah, I don't know. More I think about it, I am kind of getting like in the mood, I guess. I guess it's good that it's free. I'm just still not entirely like sure about length of time in play. Like I can't really imagine myself playing it that long. Not really. But it would all depend on what because like me and you talked before about there being an end goal, right?
Yes.
I think that might have been one of my like first issues with playing it. Was it didn't really seem like it felt like the ceiling for solo play was quite close compared to if you were playing in the game almost to me felt like you needed a 4-player team to like get to the end to like actually do well because it almost felt like you kind of needed to have a team and like a really well built camp to like survive, but I wasn't sure if that how woven together that was. So I think that for me it's more like I'm sort of afraid of not knowing. So I think if I gained more information about the game, I'd probably be more excited about it. But there's just like a few things here and there where I have issue if they are true, but not so much issue if they're not. So I think I have to do some more digging and find some more info out, and they could probably get back to you on that one.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
For me, it's just so interesting that I'm just going to have to play it and kind of see what the game is. This is the perfect chance for me to play it because it's Game Pass, and this was going to be the only place where I was going to play it probably if it came to Game Pass. And it's pretty significant game coming to it. They've had Fallout 4 on it for a while before, but I'm just so intrigued by it. Like, I don't think it will be that good, but I just want to play it to put my mind at rest because it's one of those games where no matter how many times,
even though I've played it, I have the very similar feeling. I didn't quite get what the game was, even though I played it for like 4 or 5 hours. I didn't really get it.
Sure.
So I think if I know a bit more,
yeah, and no matter how many times people tell me that this game is 6 out of 10 or whatever, I just don't quite get it until I've played it, and I haven't played it yet. So I think it's probably in a better place, and it's got loads of DLC, etc. So hopefully we'll see how it goes. I probably won't play for a while. But
what I've missed, like I feel like if I get too into it, I'm worried about what I've missed, and if I can't ever go back to that previous,
seasons,
entertainment or whatever. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Which is kind of how I felt with Destiny, but luckily with Destiny you can actually redo all the stuff you've missed, so it's not too bad. I doubt they'll have that in here, so to wait and see on that one. Yeah.
Last story from me. We've got a PlayStation blog post by Shuei Yoshida himself. Yoshida-san. He basically, I'm paraphrasing here, but essentially they're launching a new PlayStation Indies initiative. You can go read the blog post.
Yeah.
I wanted to highlight this because PlayStation for a few years now have been commented on for not supporting indies how they said they might or they would at the start of the generation. And now Shuhei Yoshida is actually focusing on indie games and studios and developers. So it will be interesting to see the switch of PlayStation focusing on indie games. And I think we saw a glance of that with some of the games we saw at the PS5 reveal event.
Oh, definitely.
So this will be... I just wanted to raise this, see how it's implemented in PlayStation moving forward, and see if they can highlight games amongst this absolutely cluttered marketplace where a game comes out every day and nobody knows which games are good apart from the big ones. So it'll be interesting to see how they tackle that. Any thoughts, Jay?
Okay. Yeah, is this going to be like, you say indie initiative?
Yes.
Does that mean, what does that mean exactly? Like they're just going to like show off more stuff, or there's going to be like a separate, like, not like necessarily a store, but maybe there's going to be like a lot more love for it on the store or something?
So no news on any storefront, but what they're doing is they are showcasing them. So they're debuting 9 titles today as of recording. I'm not sure what the titles are yet. And they'll basically be highlighting them, I think, probably through their YouTube channels, social media channels, etc. Yeah.
Well, hopefully they're good. Because, like we said before with indies, they can be a bit of hit or miss, really, can't they? Like I feel like
go on.
Top indies is like Journey, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then what was that? Fire. Forgot what it's called now. The bloody the one with the forest and the scouts. You know what I'm talking about, right? Firewatch. Like, to me, Firewatch and Journey, like those kind of indie games are like up there, right?
Yeah.
There's other indie games that I've seen where I'm like, well, I mean, I'm glad you made it just to do it, but I'm probably not going to play it, and I doubt many other people will. But I guess you got to start somewhere, haven't you? You got to start off with the stuff just to know what you're doing, and then progressively get better. It also depends on team. I feel like a lot of indie places don't really have that big of a team most of the time. That's probably where a lot of it comes. Obviously, budgeting and team and skill overall. So I don't know. Yeah, I guess this could be good. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of developers out there who are just indie, and they probably don't get as much recognition as they would like. So this might be a good chance to actually like have the chance for another journey or another Firewatch. You know, just something to one of those greats to slip through. That'd be good to see, actually. Definitely.
Completely agree, Jay. And it would be nice if we did get these games that maybe we are getting, but they're just not highlighted enough, so we don't know we're getting them.
What was that one you played that you 100%ed? I forgot what it's called now.
A Plague Tale?
No. Had like 100%. A really good soundtrack, I think you said.
Floor Kids?
No, it's like the art style was really unique. It was like a not cartoon.
Oh.
Something mocked or something. I can't remember what it was now.
How recent, Jay? Give me some timescales. Oh, Gris.
There we go,
Gris.
Yeah, that's an indie, right?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like there's games like that can, you know, I feel like that's one of those ones that you don't really see that often, but when you play them, they can actually be pretty good. Yeah.
Definitely.
All right.
Jay, should we move on to your side of the things? Side of the news. Side of the news. Sorry. Okay, go on.
No, you're good. First off, Square Enix will announce several new games in July and August. So there was a bit of a rumor going around about the new Final Fantasy title, and we thought we saw what it could have been with that Project Anita or whatever it was. Like it looked similar to what some of the. No, the game. They did an announcement, didn't they? The PS5.
Oh, apologies. I'm getting confused with Alita Battle Angel. I'm sorry. Carry on.
Yeah. I think people thought that might have been what the concept art was for, but I guess there's still a chance for something to come through.
So this is from Wesley LeBlanc from IGN. Give me some background, Jay. So are they just saying they've got more games to announce, basically?
Basically, yeah. I guess it's just, for me, it's like I keep an eye on Square Enix. Like we spoke about last week, obviously, about keeping an eye on developers, right? So Square Enix is one of those ones where I'm like, yeah, I need to keep this just in case there's something good coming, because it literally could be anything. Like, I'm hoping it'll be something good, though.
Sure.
Because we've still got, I mean, July is going to be massive for gaming, and I think August is going to be pretty good too. So spread it out quite far this year.
Yeah. Do you think, Jay, my question is, why not reveal Final Fantasy 16 at the PS5 event? Because I feel like that's a bigger event.
Too big.
Okay.
No, I think if you want to reveal a game like that, it needs to maybe even have its own thing.
And Square Enix love their own little thing.
It might even have been, I mean, 15 was 2016, so it was 4 years ago. I mean, I don't know. Might be thinking too big. Literally, I mean, Square Enix do well with most of their stuff, so I think they've got a pretty good track record, or whatever it is. I'm sure it'll be good for someone. I'm just, high hopes, I guess.
While I don't play many Square Enix...
great.
Sure. While I don't play any more Square Enix games anymore, I welcome the chance to see what they're doing,
Yeah, just to see exactly what they're doing is good enough for me, to be honest. So, I mean, they might even announce the game, but it probably won't be out for the next 2 or 3 years. So,
definitely.
Could literally be anything, couldn't it? Yeah.
Definitely.
All right. Next thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so this one might be very interesting to you, actually.
Jay,
There's been
I didn't look at the news story, but it's cool. We'll go through it. As in, I
so
didn't
this is
look because I didn't want
very
to get I didn't want to get hyped. Sorry, I should put some
okay. Yeah,
context.
this is very like hopeful thinking. This might just be
Yes.
like a random occurrence. I think it's happened previously before, but on Twitter there's been a @fabl and an @perfectdark game placeholders with Microsoft Xbox employees following them, just so they've got track of them, I guess. So this is like potential of a Fable or a perfect dark game coming in the future.
Yeah, I mean that seems so.
It's thin, but it's enough to make a news thing about, right? Because it's basically a rumor, right? Essentially, I think Fable 4 might be a bit more of a realistic expectation, but I think Perfect Dark sequel might be less of one. I think it's been talked about a while, but not. I don't think that many people really want it.
Yeah, it's one of those strange games, Jay. Perfect Dark, I think, would do
It had quite a big
okay.
following, weirdly. Like it's got this really like weird following that a lot of people loved it, but because it wasn't the first 360 game ever. I'm pretty sure it was. I remember when 360 came out, the first announced and released game of 360 was Perfect Dark Zero, and it was awful. The graphics are just awful. They're honestly, it's like playing GoldenEye on like PS1, basically. It looks pretty much that. It's like almost like bad Halo 1 graphics, like really like choppy and not great. But
yeah, Perfect Dark's a weird one. Yeah, it's got a cultural following, but I'm not sure it would be a wise decision to invest heavily in unless it looks really cool. Fable, on the other hand, Jay, as you know, it will be one of Xbox's biggest franchises ever. And
it could be a massive pull for the new console, definitely.
You do that right, you've got yourself a witty, funny RPG, fantasy, combat game, which is Xboxy, but still very welcome, I would say.
I have a feeling that July and August are probably we're going to get some pretty big names of like games that are potentially coming out.
I think July and August.
I think August will be Fable, 100%. Or not 100%, but some percent. I think there's a chance.
I know that Xbox is saying they're going to show some big game footage for July, i.e. Halo and that, for the launch lineup. But Jay, I think July and August could be some pivotal months for Xbox moving forward.
August was supposed to be the release date of the Series X, initially.
That's so late, Jay. That is so late.
No, early, do you mean?
Imagine if it's in August and then it's in October. It's 2 months away.
Oh, well, I see what you mean, yeah. But, I mean, initially, what I'm saying, I think if it hadn't been for the recent events, I think we might have been getting these consoles slightly earlier.
I think we might be getting the events earlier. I'm not sure about the consoles.
I think we would have got both. The events would have been probably early July, and then the consoles probably would have been 2 to 3 months after that, like late August, early October.
Do you think this quick succession of announcement and then launch will do the consoles good?
Say that again.
Do you think the short period between announcement and launch of the console will be good for the consoles? Because we've always had quite a few months to digest and get the hype up for console generations. Jay's thinking hard.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a difficult one. Like for me, I would want the console to come out as soon as possible.
Sure.
Right, sooner the better for me. Just as long as it's ready, right? I don't want any product to be released early or on time just because they think it's ready. I want them to know it's ready. This is always the thing I've hated about consoles is that them not working properly the first week they come out. I want you to test that thing until it bloody blows up, right? I want you to bloody like run it into the ground. That thing needs to. I want to know it's maximum capacity. So yeah, for me, I'm just hoping that they get it out at the right time. I think if they had released it in August, that probably would have been. I think they might have actually. I think they said they were going to release it in August. I think the perfect time window. It's weird. Cyberpunk seems to be a pretty good gauge actually on console releases. I think they might have actually announced it in August and then released it September 19th when Cyberpunk was supposed to come out, and then they've obviously moved it because they've now shoved back even further the console releases. So I think internally it might have even been originally August release and then pushed back to September and now even pushed back to like another 2 months into November. So
interesting.
Yeah, have to wait and see on that, I guess.
That's from IGN and that's from Jordan Olomon.
Yeah, potential Fable, which I guess is good. I mean, would you rather that be like a complete like reboot and they just name it Fable again with like a sub thing, or would you rather it be Fable 4? Because I feel like I don't want it to be part of the old story. I want it to be like a completely new thing, right?
I want them to do a God of War. I want them to have a reboot, all new, and then halfway or 3/4 of the way through the game, you find out that it's actually a prequel, and I'd be like, "That's awesome." That would be a great twist for me. But I'm happy to do a brand new thing.
Fable kind of feels a little bit like Assassin's Creed, with like there's like time frames, isn't there? Like it kind of has to line up with a certain period of time, almost, right? Because the first Fable was kind of like, I don't know, like medieval, I guess, or like
I feel
late medieval, whereas Fable 3 was all the more
industrial
stuff. I don't know. Yeah, we'll have to see on that one.
I think they've painted themselves in a corner because of how quickly they progressed the time with Fable 3.
Yeah, that was just money though. That was just get more money. They needed to bring out something quick, so they were like, right, need to keep on this, on the popularity of this game, and just get out as much as we can.
Yeah, I think they probably reboot, and I can't wait. I'm going to lose my mind when I see that.
All right, so next thing, Death Stranding news. There's no spoilers for you or anything, not necessarily.
Okay.
It's just more of like, this is from IGN. This is Jordan Oloman.
Again.
Oloman, yeah.
Oloman?
Yeah, potential sequel news or teased by Hideo. So Hideo likes to do this where when the first game was being teased or like, shown images of, Hideo would take a picture of his desk with like things scattered around. And there'd usually be one or two hidden messages that were so hidden that you'd have to really, really look to find it. And this actually might have been an accident on his part because he did a similar thing, but instead it showed off. He had like a sketch on his desk. This is like a Twitter thing. He took a picture of his, like a zoomed in part of his desk with like sketches and like books and soundtracks. He usually likes to put things that he knows are going to influence his ideas. So there'll usually be like a soundtrack of a very old band, and there'll be like a book of like a very famous author, and then sketches to do with the game, right? And in this one, there's like a sketch of what seems to be, I guess, some sort of like maybe submarine or whale, I guess, like almost like a machine that looks like a whale, which is like part of the thing in the game. There's like whales everywhere. It's like part of the imagery, right? But on the side of the whale, it says Bridges, which is like the company name of like part of the game. So everyone's thinking it's potentially a sequel to, or maybe even DLC to Death Stranding. So it's just, one of those mysterious Kojima things that could be a thing or it could not. Because I think it looks like he deleted the picture and then re-uploaded the picture with things put over the sketch to make it not showable. He might have like shown too much or something. So don't know, just one of those speculation type things.
So what are your thoughts, Jay? Do you like the idea of a Death Stranding sequel?
Well, we heard a couple of months ago that Sony had like rejected one of his ideas. So maybe he either came at them with, I want to do a sequel, and they said no, or he came at them with, I want to do this new IP, and they said no. They might have even said to him, we'd rather you do a Death Stranding 2. Or maybe not. If they might have said, we don't want you to do Death Stranding 2, we want you to do a new IP. So it might have just been like an old sketch from like an idea he had previously, and he just could be taking a picture of his desk. I don't know. It literally could mean nothing, or it could mean everything. We don't quite know yet. But knowing him, it'll probably be something in the next 3 or 4 years that we'll look back on and go, oh, that's what that means. That always seems to happen with him. So
he knows how to tease. He knows how to tease. He really does.
Yeah. All right, you ready for the next one?
Yes, this comes from Adam Bankhurst at IGN.
This one is, I mean, I've sort of known about this for a while, but there's been a Harry Potter RPG rumored in the works for the last couple of years, and there was actually some leaked test footage of the game that came out, I want to say early last year, and it looked quite promising. Like, it literally looked like a really cool RPG type Harry Potter game where you start out first year, you probably get picked in your house, and you do lessons, and Snape teaches you and all this stuff, right? But it actually looks pretty decent from what I've seen. So they're saying reportedly it's coming out late 2021. So it's actually becoming more and more of a reality. the further we go along. So I'm actually quite.
So what
looking
is
forward
this,
to it.
Jay? Is this a leak? What's going on? How do we
So the
know?
original test footage was a leak, but I think now there might have been a bit more of a clarification on it actually happening.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah,
there was
here
a
we go.
report by Bloomberg, I want to say.
Yeah, Bloomberg, Jason Schreier, who, yeah, so Jason Schreier's now at Bloomberg from Kotaku, and he's like one of the key games journalists who finds out news before it happens. So it sounds like he's got some whispers that,
So I
he's
think
got
the
some
main thing was
whispers
because
that it could be
J.K.
real.
Rowling recently came out on Twitter and said some things that were her opinion, but a lot of people didn't agree with it. So the people who are the developers of this game didn't quite like what she said, because you have to be left in gaming society nowadays. So they were a bit. It seemed like they were a bit annoyed that she said things, so they're like less enthusiastic about making the game, I guess. Like they don't really want to release a game about a story done by someone who they see as homophobic in any way.
Is that her? What? Yeah, let's not get
No,
into
so I think
politics.
she came out basically like saying stuff about trans people aren't women or something. Trans women aren't women, stuff like that, right?
Got you.
So yeah, I think it seems like they sort of let the cat out of the bag, saying, "Oh, we are doing a game, but we're a bit annoyed about what JK said." So, so I guess we just know more about there being a game now. So I guess that's a good thing. I mean, I've always wanted this ever since like the first couple of Harry Potter games. I'm like, right, when's the RPG coming out? And then they released the bloody Lego ones, and I was like, oh, this is poo. Don't really want to play these. I think I have them, but I've never played them. I think they were free 1 month or something. So
okay. I like some of the licensed games we got of the Harry Potter franchise. Actually, I think there's some of the best.
They did actually do games. They did like the linear type things, right? But yeah, they never really.
They weren't amazing. No, they weren't amazing.
They were kind of like platformery type things, weren't they?
Yeah, they weren't amazing, but I liked the first couple. I really liked the second one actually, and the first one. But yeah, Jay, I think you're right. I think this could be a really, really great game.
Oh,
especially if you like Harry Potter.
Yeah, which obviously there are a lot, and I imagine there's probably a lot of young people right now, or maybe a few months ago, who were quite interested in Harry Potter and who have grown up with it. So I think there's always going to be an audience for it. I think at some point Harry Potter will probably die out, but I don't know how much versus our generation of people. So.
Do you know what's interesting, Jay? It reminds me of Spider-Man in the sense that if you can deliver on what everyone wants from a Spider-Man game...
Oh, they absolutely nailed it with that. Yeah, if they can do the same thing with Harry Potter, then we're golden.
Exactly. I think that would sell millions of copies. And I think the same thing about Lord of the Rings. Make an RPG about Lord of the Rings, it would sell millions of copies if it was up to that standard.
How well did Shadow thing do? So it's called Lord of the Rings
Shadow of War. Shadow Mordor. I know that they've done well. I'm not sure how well. I'm not sure if it's 4 million copies well, but I know they've done pretty well.
Yeah, maybe like 1 or 2, maybe.
Well enough to warrant the sequel. Give me
more like 1.
I'm gonna pull that shit up.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess around 1 or like 1.5 maybe. I feel like it did well, but I seem to remember it coming down in price quite quickly. So that might have even been maybe not that good. I don't know. They might have sold
we're looking
more
at
copies,
a couple of million of copies.
Yeah, okay, that's not bad. Yeah, I guess if it warranted a sequel, then it probably did pretty well actually.
And that's not too bad for that
any of these film franchises. I mean, I guess it comes back to the whole Avengers argument of whether that's going to do well or not. I think it'll do well, but begrudgingly to me, I guess.
In 2017, Shadow of Mordor, the first game, had sold 2.88 million copies, so it's fair.
That's way more than I thought. My God, that's good. That's really good.
It's cool.
I mean, anything even close to 1 million is insane, to be honest.
Yeah, 100%.
All right. Well, we'll have to keep an eye on that one. Late 2021.
Yeah, let's see if it
be on PS5 and Series X. Hopefully.
Yeah, and let's see if it really hits the mark, because that could be a game of the year if they get it right.
I don't know actually, because there's going to be Horizon that year. There's going to be quite a few things coming out in 21. I mean,
2021's not even that far away.
Like late 2021 might also mean early 22, because games are very finicky when it comes to release dates and delays and stuff like that. So that might even be 22. Okay, I'll quickly go for it. So first one was.
Can you say all? Sorry, Jay. Can you? So this is the IGN Summer of Gaming Award winners. Jay, from the IGN staff themselves. Can you just go through all the nominees and then say the winner, please, of each one?
Yeah, so
is that okay?
Best new game announcement.
Okay.
There's quite a few actually. So I guess Metal Health Singer, which is that like rhythm game, the metal rhythm thing.
Yeah, Metal Rhythm Doom. Yeah.
Yeah, Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, Horizon Forbidden West, Ratchet and Clank, Skate, Pragmata, Returnal, and then Bloodstained.
Curse of the Moon 2.
Who?
Which, by the way, I didn't even know got announced until like yesterday.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Bloodstained 2?
Yeah, we talked about it.
Did we? Apologies. I'm losing my mind.
It's quite a forgettable game, so we won't worry about it. Yeah, so who would you have said won that out of all that? Best new game.
Horizon or Ratchet and Clank?
So, according to IGN, Summer of Game 2020, the IGN staff, Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales won that one.
Well, I assume that's yours as well, Jay.
Yeah, I mean, either that or the Pragmata one, just because of how it looked.
Okay.
It was more of a like potential, more of what the potential could be. We already know how good Spider-Man potentially could be, but because we don't know about the new IP, we don't quite know how much further or lesser it could be. So it's a bit of a gamble. Best trailer. So we had Deathloop, Horizon, Bugsnax, boo, Stray, Demon's Souls.
Sorry. Why is that game on this list?
Yeah, exactly. Shouldn't even be there, right? Pragmata, Mortal Shell, Cyberpunk 2077, Star Wars Squadrons, and then Little Devil Inside. Who would you say out of that would have won best trailer?
I'm really sorry. Can you say the first 5 again, please?
Yeah, Deathloop, Horizon, Bugsnax, Stray, and Demon's Souls.
I appreciate the Demon's Souls trailer, and I also really like that Little Devil Inside trailer. But again, I'm gonna have to go for Horizon, I'd say. What about you?
I'd say Pragmata again.
Okay.
But who won it was Deathloop, which I could actually kind of agree with. The Deathloop trailer was cool.
Pretty cool.
It made it look a lot better than when I first saw it.
Yeah.
Biggest comeback. So not that many on this one. Nominees: Pokemon Snap, Demon's Souls, Skate, Ratchet and Clank, 13, and then Kingdoms of Amalur: Re-Reckoning.
It's Ratchet and Clank all the way. Although again, Demon's Souls I respect.
I was probably going to say either Skate or Demon's Souls, but the people weirdly who won it was the Pokemon Snap.
That game ain't selling.
Yeah, and of course it. Although it's got again big audience in Japan, it'll sell very well in Japan.
Jay, do you know what's interesting? Do you know what is interesting? I don't know what's interesting.
Please enlighten me.
Okay, I'll enlighten you, Jay. I saw the trailer come out for that game. It's got a huge cult following. It looks like it was fun back in the day. I didn't realise they could make a game look just as old as the original game that came out 20 years ago.
Yeah, I mean,
it was quite impressive. I'm trolling, but
yeah,
you know what? I don't want to be negative, but that game, I just don't know what to say anymore.
I don't know.
I've just played The Last of Us Part 2, where some environments look photorealistic, and then you've got Pokemon New Snap, which literally looks like it was made on the Nintendo Wii.
I honestly don't know who it's been made for, to be honest. I don't know who I could. It can't be kids, and it can't be adults, so I guess it's like somewhere in the middle. I don't know.
What's the kid engagement with Pokemon these days? Do they buy into it? Do they think it's a 90s thing?
A lot of kids attend many tournaments, whether it be the DS tournaments or the Switch tournaments, and the trading card. Like I think weirdly, actually, last year's champion or this year's champion was a 8-year-old girl.
Interesting.
Yeah, she was the world champion of the latest Pokemon game.
Do not underestimate.
She even had her like a plushie. I want to say either like Eevee that she carried around. She like had that. She was basically cuddling it while she was playing. Well, you can see how impactful it can be to some kids.
She sounds like a villain from an anime show.
She was amazing though. I don't think she lost a single match.
Wow.
She honestly is she's like a prodigy. She's amazing. So
mate, that's awesome. That is awesome.
Best gameplay demo. I can already probably tell what you're going to say.
Let's go.
Pretty.
Pokemon Snap.
Squadrons, Mortal Shell, Baldur's Gate 3, Rustler, Hard Space, Shipbreaker, System Shock, Marvel Avengers, Cyberpunk 2077, Biomutant, and Deathloop.
I'm going to say Cyberpunk, even though I haven't even seen the trailer. What about you?
Cyberpunk. I would say Cyberpunk too, 100%.
Yeah.
Best gameplay. I mean, that's probably the most anticipated out of all those, to be honest. Other than maybe Marvel's Avengers and Squadrons. I think top 3 would have been Cyberpunk, Marvel Avengers, and Squadrons.
Jay, a quick side note. I'm actually quite surprised by how many people are looking forward to Squadrons.
Oh, I honestly can't wait.
Interesting.
I've got a picture of what it's going to be in my head, and it's either going to be just below what I'm thinking, exactly what I'm thinking, or slightly above.
I can't help but think that it's going to be below.
The realistic part of my brain is like, it's definitely going to be below what you're thinking, but the optimistic is like, it's probably going to be at least what you're thinking, if not more. So.
Okay. And Avengers, a huge IP. I see it as an anthem.
An anthem? What do you mean?
Hype behind it, plenty of plays to begin with.
Oh, you mean like the game anthem, not like an actual anthem? Oh, okay.
No, like the game. Yeah.
I was thinking, what does he mean, like a song anthem? Like
God save our great. Yeah, no.
Yeah, no, I see what you mean though. Like a lot of hype, but we played for like 1 week and then it'll just die off, kind of thing, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, we'll have to wait. I'll have to wait and see on that one.
I don't want it to be that.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of do, but kind of don't. You know, it's hard to. I don't want it to like do badly, but I don't want it to do well either. So let's see.
Why do you want it to do well, Jay?
Just because I don't agree with what they've done with the story. It's just.
Oh, okay. Could
have been so much better. Best overall moment. Snap reveal, Pokemon Snap reveal, obviously.
Jog on.
PlayStation 5 console reveal, Skate announcement, Demon Souls reveal, Bug Snacks song.
That's the worst list by a country mile.
I mean, it's sort of pretty obvious what it is, isn't it?
And I would say the PS5, but even then, I would have said Horizon.
Okay. Yeah. No.
What about
PS5,
you? What about you?
I would have said the same. I would have said PS5. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Sure.
Well, the Skate announcement's actually pretty big for me because I do like that game.
Sure.
Yeah. That's everything from that. So that's all your winners for that, basically.
Cool. Jay, Skate 4's not coming out till 2024, mate.
I can wait, mate. I've been waiting for a long time. I mean, Skate 3, I wasn't like amazed by, but it was still good. So Skate 1's still the best like skate game, 100%.
Fair play.
Yeah.
All right, we've gone through the news, Jay. Time for the next movement. Oh, bang! Music interlude. What? Oh my god. Jay, that was so good. That was so good. Did you enjoy the music?
I did, yeah.
Good. I enjoyed it too. Jay, you've put in a nice little game quote here for the next movement. Would you like to read it out?
Well, I wanted to see if you could guess what game it's from. Just as a little extra, and then we'll see. No points or anything, just for fun.
Well, I'll read out the game quote for the listeners, and then they can guess along with me.
Yeah,
Some trees flourish, others die. Some cattle grow strong, others are taken by wolves. Some men are born rich enough and dumb enough to enjoy their lives. Ain't nothing fair. Immediately, Jay, I go to Red Dead 2, but if I'm honest, because it's cattle, rich, if I think about it, some trees flourish.
Let me read it again. Some others die. Some cattle grow strong, others are taken by wolves. Some men are born rich enough and dumb enough to enjoy their lives. Ain't nothing fair.
Yeah, I have to say Red Dead 2 because nothing else is screaming at me that I recognise that, unfortunately.
Okay. So you want me to... That's your guess?
It is.
Do you want me to tell you who it was?
Sure.
Well, who and what it's from?
Sure.
Oh, you're very close. It was John Marston from Red Dead 1.
Oh, damn it!
Very close.
Oh, I knew it was in Red Dead.
Yeah, okay. Honestly, I was surprised you got that quick. I was like, oh my god, he actually said Red Dead. That's insane. I don't think I would have ever guessed that, honestly. I don't think I'm smart enough to know that. But yeah,
I didn't want to say because I don't want to seem overconfident, but it reeks of Rockstar writing to me.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm interested. It's interesting that you can recognise that actually.
Oh,
No,
the
I was
writing is
looking up. I
unparalleled.
wanted to look up like interesting quotes, but I came across ones that were more like words of wisdom in quotes.
Sure.
I have quite a lot. I'm probably actually going to do this every week because I have quite a lot to choose from, or like as
Okay.
many as I can do, just just for fun. But yeah, I thought the meaning behind that is obviously debatable, but I thought it was quite stoic, I guess is the right word.
They
Wisdom.
they love putting out quotes like that throughout their games constantly. They make you think, but you never have time to reflect on. But they have
No, yeah,
substance
until you
behind
like
them.
read it later. Yeah, exactly. I
Yeah,
imagine they
yeah.
wanted to get something out of that, but yeah, I thought that was quite interesting. So
Reflecting, just speaking to you now, Jay,
yeah,
reflecting on these games, I do think overall I enjoyed Red Dead 1 more as a whole, but I think the story of Arthur Morgan and later on the end of Red Dead 2, I think impact me more. Does that make
yeah,
sense?
I think because it's obviously more recent, they had a lot more they could do with it, right? They had probably a much better writing. They're probably the same, if not a similar writing team, but because they'd obviously grown since then, they had more experience, more to like pull from. So yeah, I can see Red Dead 2 is basically the improved version of Red Dead 1. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, Red Dead 1 still holds up, but it definitely is aged. You can
Yes.
tell it's grown. So
I loved playing that on backwards compatibility, mate. That was a real joy for me. I think I played it over a summer during university, and I really enjoyed that.
I still think the Nightmare DLC is like top notch.
I did tell you about this, didn't I, Jay?
I think so.
Yeah, I could never play it. It
No.
glitched.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, yeah.
There's a glitch where all the zombies become headless, and you can't kill them, and they keep
Oh,
spawning, and you can't play the game. I'm genuine. I
oh
tried to
yeah.
play it about 5 times, restarted it, and
I'm guessing
apparently,
they've never hotfixed it then, right?
nope.
That's odd.
That's terrible, Jay. For a
That is
DLC
bad.
that's apparently like one of the best DLCs ever, I simply
Pretty
couldn't
good. Yeah,
play it.
pretty good. It actually
It's
had a lot of
terrible.
Zed's Island type feel, Zombie Island type feel.
Yeah,
But there you go. I don't know. I don't think you
yeah.
missed out too much. It was good, but it wasn't like
It
amazing.
wasn't the main game.
No, it wasn't. Yeah, exactly. It wasn't as good as the main thing. So
Okay, cool. I'm
so
glad about
you
that. I
you
appreciate
want
that. So, Jay, it's time for an exciting part of the show. Guess whose review? Guess whose review?
wow.
Is he ready?
Yeah,
Is he
I have to make
ready?
sure I have to prepare something next week now, don't I? Because I
Our
refuse to talk about anything.
matron. What's that off, Jay?
Matron. That's
Carry
Carry
on,
On
films? Carry on.
Camping, I think. Okay, no, Carry On Nurse or is that Carry On Doctor? Carry On
Got
Doctor.
ya.
You
Got
don't do
ya.
it for. I do a much better version of that.
Correct, you do. I just want.
Matron.
I just want to provoke.
That's one of my favourite things to do. I love that.
I want to provoke you in doing
It's
it.
weird, right? Because you wouldn't think 25-year-olds cared about Carry On films, but I love the Carry On films. You must have seen loads, right?
Nah, not really.
Yeah, Carry On Doctor, Carry On Cleopatra. I want to say there's Carry On Agent, like Secret Agent.
How many are there? Like
Carry On
15?
Camping. Carry On Camping is my favourite one.
Okay.
Have you not seen any of the Carry On films?
Nah.
Dude, watch Carry On Camping. 100%.
Okay.
And Carry
Okay.
On Doctor. Oh, it's genius.
What
Absolute
are they,
genius.
50s? 60s?
60s.
60s?
I will check that. There's a lot of them. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm going to
yeah.
look that up because there's loads. Actually, I think it started actually way earlier. 58.
That's not that much earlier.
58 to 78. Yeah, that's like, what, 30, 20 years?
Not
Long
bad,
time.
not bad.
Long time.
Yeah. Okay.
There's like roughly 30 films.
Good lord.
One every year from 58 to 92, basically.
To 92?
Yeah. Carry On Columbus was the last one.
That's quite recent.
Matron was in 72. Oh, that's because, well, so there wasn't one every year till 92. There's one every year till 78. So from 58 to 7, for 20 years, there was basically one every year, sometimes two a year. And then there was one much later on in 92 called Carry On Columbus. There you go. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Very interesting.
I see which ones I've seen. Yeah, Carry On Camping is just like an absolute classic. Oh my god.
Okay.
Carry On Spying, that's the one I meant. Yeah, that one's good.
Child spying.
I need to go back and watch some of those. Those classics.
It smells like shit. That's because it is shit, Austin.
Yeah, okay.
I've just thrown what I've got. You know what I mean? I put all my assets on the table.
Double bubble, lovely ladies. Twins, Basil, twins.
Twins, Basil, twins.
I still say that like most days.
Mate, chins up,
I'll just go up to
down.
people and be like, twins, Basil, twins.
Twins.
I need to go back and watch those again, man.
Do you know, Jay, we're missing the platform, which is watching people watch movies. It's going to happen.
It's already been a thing.
Go on.
Rooster Teeth did it.
But hold on, they didn't actually show the movie as well, did they?
No, it was a camera. So what you do is there was a camera towards them. They'd be like 3, 2, 1, and you'd watch it along with them. And then you'd watch like both, I guess, their reaction to it, or maybe you'd even watch it beforehand and then watch it. I don't know.
Yeah,
there are similar things like that. There's even podcasts like that with the I can't remember. I think it's called like For the First Time or something. The First Time podcast. But there's like people who you watch the entirety of the Lost series alongside the podcast. So you watch an episode, they do a podcast on the episode, and they do it for the whole entire show.
That's commitment. They're doing that now for The Sopranos. Some of the ex-cast members are doing that now for The Sopranos.
Yeah,
that's a real commitment, Jay, because the podcasts are sometimes that, and sometimes the episodes are longer than the episodes. So you're doubling the commitment.
You're basically watching the show twice, essentially.
Exactly, but it's interesting because you have that discussion and participation element that you'd never get unless you were watching it at the time every week.
It's basically like having a Game of Thrones watch party with all your friends, but having it with another group of people who aren't necessarily your friends, but people who you would like to banter with, I guess, or listen to.
Yeah, 100%. It's interesting stuff. Okay, Jay, are you ready for this week's Guess Who's Review? For the uninitiated, every week, me and Jay alternate in picking a random review from a random media outlet about a random game, and we have 3 quotes for them to guess it. It is something like 3 points for the first quote, 2 points for the second quote, 1 point for the last quote, 0 nil point if you do not get it from the last quote.
Yes.
Currently, scores are... I haven't got my phone with me.
It's 4-3 to you.
4-3 to me. 4-3 to me. Can you hear Jay sing? I can't hear it. Yeah, it's 4-3 to me.
Yeah.
4-3 to me. All right, here we go. Jay's coming up. Quote number 1.
Okay.
Juanita. In the end, its beauty, charm, and commitment to the bond between its 4 protagonists keep it glued together, even when some of its design and story elements threaten to pull it apart. Oh, I feel like I've given this away already. Actually.
No, it's weird because there's a game that has 4 protagonists.
Yes.
I have a guess, but I don't think you've played that game. So is it a game? I don't know. I don't really want to ask for a hint. But these are like games we've both played, right? Or potentially not.
I either need a guess. I cannot answer any questions.
Okay, hang on. 4 protagonists.
4 protagonists.
Damn. Okay, I'm going to guess this is probably very wrong. Strange Brigade.
Incorrect.
Bugger. Yeah, have you played that?
I've played that game. I have played that game. Yes. I tried.
There's 4 protagonists.
Yeah, I tried that at a convention, mate. And we should go to them, by the way, if you're up for it. And I liked it quite a lot. I found the real game never quite hit that level, but it's a good game, isn't it? Did you like it?
What, Strange Brigade? Yeah, I didn't. Yeah. I don't think I necessarily went for achievements or anything. I just played the story with like every character and just had fun.
Yeah. You did it solo?
Yeah.
Fair. Do you like their other games, Rebellion do? Sniper, Zombie Army Trilogy and all that?
I think I've played maybe one of the Sniper games, but not any of the other ones.
Okay.
Bugger.
Quote number 2. Oh, yeah, by the way, so the sentence starts out with the game name, so I'll just say this game, okay?
Okay.
This game feels like 2 different games. One for seasoned adventurers with wanderlust in their hearts, and another for people who want tight levels and scripted action scenes.
I'm like on a massive blank right now. I literally can't think of a single thing. 4 protagonists.
I have picked quite hard quotes.
Can you read that second one again?
This game feels like 2 different games, one for seasoned adventurers with wanderlust in their heart, and another for people who want tight levels and scripted action scenes.
Shit. I don't know. I honestly, I have a feeling I'm not going to get this.
Quote 3?
I've got to bloody have a guess. I honestly can't think of another game that has 4 protagonists in it, and it's probably like really bloody obvious. Oh, no. 2 different types of games. Oh, okay. I'll have a go.
Okay.
Is it Diablo 3?
No.
Am I like further in the opposite direction? That was a good guess though, because of the levels, I guess, right?
You're getting closer.
I am. I can't.
Okay.
That was actually pretty good because there's like barbarian, mage, voodoo, witch doctor, and then the other one.
Okay, I'm going to give you a hint here. There's 4 protagonists at one time. There's not 4 characters you can choose.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go with yeah.
I think you know it now. He knows it now.
Do the next one.
Okay.
I'll get 1 point this week.
Quote number 3.
Why didn't I get? Well, that's so stupid.
While the visual and thematic payoffs are big, the actual mechanics of battle are sadly quite thin. Holding circle performs a continuous combo string on whatever is closest, and holding square allows you to dodge or block nearly all attacks from any direction as long as your mana holds out.
Oh, shoot. That might have just made my guess completely wrong. Oh, you asshole. You absolute. Okay, I have 2 guesses, and I'm really upset about if I pick the wrong one now.
Okay.
It's bloody Final Fantasy 15, isn't it?
It so is!
You absolute ass. Why didn't I get that? Why did I not get that?
Oh, God.
Damn it. I'm honestly so disappointed in myself. Do you know what my other guess was? It was bloody Dragon Age.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I can see that.
When you said the hint from the second one, I was like, it's definitely Dragon Age. And then when I heard you say the hold and the thing, I was like, oh, okay. God damn it. I'm honestly, so it's 4-4.
Yeah, 4-4. How did you... did you find it was too hard? Was I too hard?
It was difficult. I think it's just because I wasn't really like thinking of like other games that had bloody 4 protagonists. I don't know why. I think it's because I haven't really got Final Fantasy on the mind at the minute.
But you've played it quite recently.
Yeah, it was. Whenever I play like any new game, I tend to forget the old game I've played like enough where I could probably play it again and still wouldn't have remembered what bloody happened. I can forget things quite easily.
Sure.
Even things I know I'm like very passionate about, I can forget very easily, which annoys me sometimes. But I'm actually kind of glad I do that because then I can enjoy it again later. But yeah.
I'm happy at when you got that. I feel like we're nearly there in terms of difficulty level.
Yeah, I feel like the difficulty is like we're trying to get that balance between you're definitely going to get it here, but you're never going to get it here type thing. Exactly. Or if you're smart enough, you can definitely get on the first one, but you have to like really think about it. Damn it! I'm glad I got it though.
Yeah, no, well done. I
wasn't going to get that. That's insane. That was a great pick. Honestly, I'm very impressed.
Well, I thought 4 protagonists was going to give it away easy, but it did not. So it's interesting.
If I was a lot more clued in, I probably would have got that.
That was from Vince Ingenito IGN.
I honestly thought if it was Strange Brigade, that would have been like way too out there for you. In my mind, I was like, he hasn't played this game. There's no way. Like it's such a small game. There's no way he's played it. But
I do like that game. I'm surprised you've played it. I'm surprised you've played it.
Yeah, well, there you go. I guess we've surprised each other. I think it may be because at the time there wasn't really much else out, and I was like, oh, this is probably fun. There's quite a lot of hype, but quite a lot of actually there was some pretty good marketing with that game. I think they probably spent a lot of their budget on marketing. You can tell the game has obviously got a good budget on it, but I would have said a lot of the marketing went towards, or a lot of budget went towards marketing.
When I played at the convention, the gun you had was like the last gun you get in the game.
Yeah, like the submachine gun or something, right?
Yeah, so the demo felt a lot better than the majority of the game.
You start out fairly weak, but I actually got really good at that game. I was surprised.
Nice.
I could like consistently get headshots.
Okay.
Yeah, I got pretty good at that. Like there was a wave mode, like a horde mode.
Yeah.
I think I did that I did that solo and got pretty far.
Nice.
That was fun. That was very fun.
Okay. All
I'll have to
right.
go back and check that out actually.
You can write in, get in touch, contact, speak to us at the TGO show.
Yeah.
Do what you will. The information is out there. Go find it. Track us down. Treasure hunt.
Yes.
Jay, this possibly might be the shortest show we've ever done apart from the
Well,
special.
it's coming up to about the right time we wanted to have anyway, isn't it?
It's true. It's true. Well, we'll see how it goes. We're flexible. We're flexible. You need to be more flexible. Okay, Jay. Mate, how good is The Incredibles?
Dude, you're scaring me. Don't do that.
What?
Don't do that. That's twice now.
What?
That's twice now, my friend.
What?
What are you doing to me? My dad did the exact same thing to me. Oh, Jesus Christ. I can't believe you. You're insane. Right, so earlier I was like, I really fancy watching this film. And this film happens to have Ben Stiller in it, right?
Yeah.
So a few hours go by, my dad messages me, have you watched such and such TV series directed by Ben Stiller? I was like, oh my god, creepy. Ben Stiller twice in one day, right? Now, what did you just say? I played what you just said. You said about Incredibles. I watched a video earlier about someone who was obsessed with the Incredibles, and I was like, oh, I wouldn't mind watching that again. And now you're being like Incredibles. That was so left field. What was that?
Well, I was doing a quote from The Incredibles at the start. She's like, you need to be more flexible.
Oh, okay. That's Edna Mode, right?
No, it's Mrs. Incredible.
Someone else. Is it?
It's Elastigirl. Yeah.
Oh, she says it. Oh, God. Oh, that's been
Yeah. Edna Mode. And guess.
Classic. Absolute. And guess.
Right.
Oh, my God, you've gotten fat.
My God, you've gotten fat.
Yeah, you pull that off really well.
Yeah. Oh, God,
Jesus
so
Christ.
good. Completely bulletproof. Yeah.
No caps.
And completely machine washable. That's a new feature. Yeah. Oh, God. So good. Do you know Brad Bird voices Edna, who's the director? Super cool. Super cool.
I didn't know that, but good to know. Yeah, very good.
Yeah, I think me and India are going to watch the second one again because I've got to tell you, mate, there's some scenes in that made me laugh for minutes. For minutes.
I think Incredibles 2 is probably one of my most anticipated animated films for like a long time because it took forever to make that movie, didn't they? They put it on hold for like I think they originally supposed to release it like 2 or 3 years after the first one. And it just got pushed back and back and back. I think mainly because of like Frozen and a few other things. But it just kept getting pushed and pushed and pushed. And they were like, well, we need to make this thing at some point. And then they finally.
I'm so glad they did.
Me too,
man.
So the first one is still amazing though.
True.
Amazing.
Mate, that scene in the restaurant in the second one where like Violet pushes water out of her nose. I don't know. I just thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, I laugh a lot at that too.
Oh, yeah.
It's good stuff.
All right, Jay, what are you going to be playing this week?
Yeah, I'm having a bit of a mare. I don't know, I guess it'll be more Borderlands. At the minute, actually, this is a good thing I was going to bring up. So there's a rumor from some Borderlands content creators, YouTubers, that there's going to be an update in the future where, I think, is it Iridium, the purple bars? There's going to be an opportunity where you can buy new weapons or like modify your weapons with that as a currency.
Okay.
To like add new, or maybe to like re-roll anoints or something.
Yeah.
So I'm starting to farm that at the minute, and before you had to do a very specific farming method, but with the new DLC, there's a new boss you can kill that allows you to get like 1,000 within an hour.
Jeez.
So I've been doing that. I think I got like 6,000 today. So I think I was at no, it's not today. I did it probably maybe about 500 today. Actually no, it might have been 1,000 because I had. It's weird, right? So what is your Iridium number? Do you reckon?
I haven't spent it in ages, so I've got about 1,300.
That's right. So from playing the main game and doing all the DLC, I probably got about between 3,000 and 4,000, right? But since I've been farming this thing, and given I've probably only farmed it maybe the last like 3 or 4 hours combined, I'm now up to like almost 12,000. So I reckon if I keep doing it, I can probably easily get to 20, if not more. So
Jeez.
I'm just going to keep going until I've like farmed loads.
But Jay, what if the system doesn't get updated into the game?
Then I guess it was all for naught.
Fair enough.
I'm also farming. What's the bloody boss? The one in the floating tomb. I forgot which one it's called, but he drops a weapon, a shotgun called the lob. Have you got that?
Don't think so.
Yeah, so it shoots these like massive like floating orbs, and they're like one of the most powerful shotguns in the game. So trying to get everything on Mayhem 10 at the minute. So
mate, you play Mayhem 10?
Yeah, I can consistently do Mayhem 10 bosses. I can kill a Mayhem 10 boss in I think minimum 3 seconds, maximum 10.
Have you got those guns that were patched out of the game? The reload guns where it stacks up damage or something?
No, there's technically a new weapon that can do that, but it's not as consistent anymore. No, so what they've done is they've updated Zane and Mose to allow their action skills to do a hell of a lot more damage, as long as you have a specific build.
Okay.
So your I'm trying to remember what they're called, like not grenade mod, but like I forgot what they're called now. The other
class mod.
Yeah, class mod. There's a particular class mod with Mose where you have a very small chance to proc what's called a mini nuke grenade, and with your action skill, you can have miniguns that shoot out like loads and loads of like bullets essentially. So you've got a much higher chance of proccing the mini grenades, and the mini grenades are so consistent with the action skill and build up so much stacking damage that you can literally go from full health to 0 within about 3 seconds if you're lucky. So I can kill every boss in the game in like seconds, and Zane can do exactly the same thing. So I'd say the character who has the hardest trouble is probably Amara. Amara is not very good with boss killing, to be honest. She's more of a mob killer, whereas everyone else is better at killing bosses. So, and they haven't patched it out, and I don't think they're going to patch it out because Flack has had a very similar type thing with his action skill since the very start of the game, when they still haven't patched it out yet. So I don't think they're going to. I think you can only do it if you have a very specific damage output and class mod build. So you kind of there's a lot that goes into it for you to even get close to it. So I think they're appreciative of the grind to be able to get there, so they're not going to patch it out, which is good for me because I can just grind and grind and grind and not have to worry about spending 3 minutes per boss battle, which is what I'd have to do. So
yeah,
happy about that. Mose is finally good. God, she's been bad for so long. It's annoying. I mean, she was good like in the previous patch, but they made her even more ridiculous now. It's insane.
Okay.
It's insane.
Cool.
I think other than that, I mean, I might touch Pokemon again, and I'll probably play some more Magic the Gathering Arena, just to there's like daily missions to do, so, and weekly missions as well. So I'll dabble here and there, if I get in the mood for something new. I mean, there is Ghost of Tsushima.
21st or something like that.
I think it's the 15th, isn't it?
Right. Okay.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
It's coming out.
So that's coming out soon, and I'll probably. I mean, that's like a 85% chance of me getting that.
Interesting.
17th,
I'd love to hear your thoughts if you do get it. I will not be getting it.
It comes out the day after we do not our next podcast, but the podcast after. So I'll be able to talk about it 3 or 4 podcasts from now.
Well, we can do a special on it if you complete it. I'm happy to do
possibly, that. Yeah, but I guess you'd want to play it as well, wouldn't you?
Depends on your view of the game. Depends how you felt about it.
I'll let you know. Yeah, I'll let you know. Yeah. What about you? I guess more Last of Us, right?
Yeah. So I'm gonna mop up the Borderlands 3 DLC while editing this, probably, and just finish up getting all the collectibles and achievements, and then platinum playthrough for Last of Us Part 2.
What do you reckon it's going to feel like when you finish it? Are you going to feel fulfilled?
Sad. I'm going to feel sad.
Bittersweet.
Yeah. Bittersweet. Yeah.
Yeah.
It, like we mentioned, Jay. 3-4 year wait for me, 7-year wait for others, over in a weekend. It's
that's how it is for most games nowadays, though, isn't it? I mean, it takes years to make such a detailed thing, but it's almost like, I've compared it before, like being a chef. You spend years practicing how to make this meal. You then spend hours preparing the meal and cooking the meal only for someone to eat it within 10 minutes. It's all, but I think that's what's so good about it, is how, again, the finite, there's always an ending. So
yes, Yeah,
just comes with the territory. It's the reason why it's so special, I guess, right? 100%. Special because it can be enjoyed so quickly, I guess.
Moving forward, Jay, we should keep an eye out on any games that get announced that will be updated DLCs continuously and play it together or something, because we need a game to play together, really.
Yeah, I'll have a look some more into some Fallout stuff.
Okay. I mean, we don't have to play that. I'm happy to. I was thinking.
You still want to do? I'll go on.
I was thinking Division 2 for whatever reason.
Okay. What? So have you played it at all?
Nope.
Yeah. So do I start again, or do I just bring you into my already done
have
the game?
you?
Oh, I've played it. Yeah.
I see.
I haven't done any of the DLC stuff. I say DLC, like season pass stuff.
Okay.
I finished the game.
Depends what you're feeling. So again, I don't want to force you to play a game you don't want to play.
No, it's fun actually. I could potentially do that. That's definitely an option.
Okay, because to me, that's one of the games that's striking me as a really fun game.
Oh, it's fun
to play with others. Yeah. Okay.
So did you play Division 1?
Nope.
Probably a good thing, actually. Probably a good thing, because the Division, it's weird. Division 1 did this thing where it first came out, and the way it felt to play was very good. But then when they literally updated basically the whole UI and how the game played, and it was basically like a massive improvement on the old version. And they did the same thing with Division 2. So the Division 2 was basically an update of the Division 1, but then they updated it again much later, so it's even better now. So I think they'll enjoy it.
Okay, cool.
I will say I think the original game probably had a better map than this one, but it's still fun to play.
Okay.
I'll have to see how big it is and then delete some stuff.
Okay, just let me know what you think. I mean, if we hear of a Division 3 rumor in the next year or so, I don't know.
It'll be a while yet.
Yeah.
I reckon it'll probably be 2 to 3 years minimum.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I'll be very surprised if we hear anything in the next year and a half, 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Jay. Thank you, listeners. Grazie. Grazie. Grazie.